Dumpling Shop. This is perfect audience. You'll hear all about it.
One. All right.
One.
My man.
No, two.
Good.
That's why we're here.
More on the way.
They don't make 'em like me no more.
Everything tastes better in a dumpling. Everything.
They don't make 'em like me no more. Like me no more. They don't make 'em like me no more. One thing I know for sure, they don't make 'em like me no more. Shining like a supernova, brand new code hanging on my shoulders. I got what you need, I'm your main controller. So hop right in and don't take it slower. Get on up to my cloud, ain't nobody here's taking us down. Hit 'em with the rhythm, banging that sound. That's when we get 'em, hit the whole town. Got what you want, I got what you need. You bring the lock, I got the keys. Come turn me on, can't get enough. Don't fit the box, don't fit the mold, cause you know I just tear it up. They don't make 'em like me no more. They don't make 'em like me no more. Like me no more. They don't make 'em like me no more. One thing I know for sure, they don't make 'em like me no more.
Oh my God.
Now we're going to head to what's called the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop. It is all automated.
Hi, I'm Patty LaBelle. The dumplings are phenomenal.
Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, and they have all kinds of great flavors. It's absolutely fascinating. Here's the new outdoor location. It looks fabulous.
Oh my God. That was really good.
The flavor?
Fantastic.
Wow.
Very good.
Bueno.
Oh, tasty. Very meaty.
Tastes great. Very good.
Very good. I would definitely get this.
It's really good. Delicious.
It's great. I love it.
One thing I know for sure, they don't make 'em like me no more. Make 'em like me no more.
All right, now who wants to go? Yes, awesome.
Few more. All right.
So up here with Mr. Jeff.
Let's do it.
Jeff, tell us a little bit about your journey to get here from RBI to Asia to the stage.
Awesome. Yeah, a little bit about my journey. This reminds me, Amy and I, she was with us for a few months as I was just getting on board at Brooklyn Dumpling Shop in January. And it's a fireside chat. We actually had a literal fireside chat in Calgary when we were opening our shop there. And so now we're doing it in a room full of all of you, which I'm really happy to be here. And especially, it feels like a room full of Amy's friends, which is great to be a part of. So thank you for having me. So I've been a CEO, chairman of Brooklyn Dumpling Shop for the past 6 months. My time in the industry, largely at Restaurant Brands International. Did a variety of marketing leadership roles for Burger King North America, head of North American operations. They asked me to go to Asia, spent 4 years in Singapore, largely leading the Tim Hortons Asia business, growing that from 70 to over 700 locations in 3 years, predominantly with the growth in China. Got back and was GM of the Tim Hortons US business, wanted to get into a more entrepreneurial growth environment, had met one of the investors in Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, and decided to get on board. And so that's actually how you and I met as well.
Yes, Mr. Matt Higgins. And you got up this morning and worked out, I heard, and so I feel like I had to work out from listening to that because that's a long journey, but a really good one.
Yeah, got a workout in. My favorite joke is that I'm trying to sell dumplings, not become one.
I appreciate that.
It's hard, though. Eat a lot of dumplings.
I think I've had too many mac and cheese dumplings in my day already. All right, so tell us a little bit about, as everybody saw in the video, there's the automat, the customer journey, the digital journey, but at the same time, it's wildly important to you and the team, the hospitality factor, which a lot of people, Sam talked about it a little bit. It's really great service, a human connection, yet you've got a lot of technology. It's full technology stack in your business. So how does that work for you?
Yep, and I think Rev had mentioned he's 99% digital ordering. We're 99.999% in certain jurisdictions. You actually have to take cash. But beyond that, all of our orders either go through app or kiosk.
Hold on, but what's your motto if somebody pays with cash?
We can provide exact change. or no change. But you can give us cash and we'll accept it. So.
I like the no change policy.
But yeah, I think Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, this business is 3 years old. It was actually founded in the pandemic. At that point in time, it was obviously advantageous to have zero human interaction. Since coming on board, I think there's been an evolution, which is we very much want to lean into being tech forward. That's absolutely who we are, our brand ethos. We want as frictionless of a tech stack as possible. We want to make it as easy as possible for somebody to access us as they want, whether through their phone or in the store, in the shop. At the same time, what we found is that this is like a no-brainer comment, but like hospitality still matters. And we have a brand ambassador who will be in the dining room to be able to help demystify the process. And it's interesting, if you ever come in one of our shops, you can actually watch, really kind of on like generational lines, certain folks, younger generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha will come in, they'll order at the kiosk or they'll have already ordered on their phone, they'll go to the locker, they'll scan the QR code, the food will be waiting for them, they walk out or they dine in, super easy. Other folks come in and it's like the inside of a spaceship. And we want to make it as easy as for those folks too to come and enjoy us, and the brand ambassador will be there to help lead them through that journey, answer any questions, upsell and provide recommendations, their favorites, what people are buying, what's hot that day, and ultimately help somebody through that customer journey. And the labor model is very efficient. We'll typically, depending on volumes and time of day, have one person, that ambassador role, in the front, and one person in the back. Either one of them can kind of serve as expediter along with the restaurant manager. And based on that, the labor model works, the tech model works, and it's something that we want to make sure that the hospitality model works. And that's something that's core to who we are.
Love that. Do you mind if I'm a guest and I walk in the door and I've already placed my order, how does the automat work for everyone in the room?
Yep. So if you order at the kiosk, you'll get a receipt, or if you've ordered on your phone, you'll get a QR code. We have what we call an order ready screen, which is up on the digital menu boards. You'll see your name, so it would say Amy. We're making your order, and then when your order is ready, we'll send you a text, or you can just walk up and scan the QR code into the infrared, and the locker will open, and your food will be there.
Love that. And I'm going to take 2 steps back because I think the beginning of the journey is important. You're offered other roles, and I think it's important to understand why you picked Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
Sure. And I see it from a few different angles because it came into Brooklyn Dumpling Shop to lead the business, but also as an investor. And the things that really stood out to me were, one, a category with a lot of tailwinds, right? It's not necessarily another ultra-saturated category, and there's so many great businesses out there, but if you think of coffee or chicken or pizza or burgers, there's a lot of competition out there. In the Asian-inspired cuisine, particularly in the fast casual space, a lot of white space, so tremendous tailwinds. I think younger generation, much more open to global cuisine, and something that we can help fulfill that consumer need. Part of it was the investors. So I think you saw Kevin O'Leary. We're a part of his
How often
fund.
do you get to see that cat?
A lot, actually, yeah. I was behind the scenes with him at QVC 2 Sundays ago. He's quite involved. Him, Matt, Higgins, they're there to be very helpful. Miss Patty LaBelle, also an investor.
Has anybody been on Shark Tank? Know the guys? No one's been on Shark Tank in here? Yes? No.
Miss Patty LaBelle, also an investor. She's got an incredibly successful CPG business that we tap into. And so it's about not just capital, but strategic capital and folks that are actually going to help make a difference, help us punch above our weight class as a small, young company, and get us out there. And so that was important to me. And then ultimately, where we fit in terms of a franchising model, which is really, we're selling dumplings, but we're selling cash-on-cash returns to franchisees. And so, from a sales standpoint, from a unit economic standpoint, particularly with our labor-efficient model, the CapEx required, relatively minimal, and therefore able to drive that payback for franchisees that makes us attractive and is ultimately how we're going to grow.
And how many franchisees do you currently have?
9 franchisees currently. So we have 11 open shops, 2 corporate shops. The rest are franchise. We have 9 under construction, and we have 160 units sold, and looking to continue building that out.
And you're looking for some more in September is when you're going to go at it.
Yep, yeah, I think right now it's been a digestion period coming in, really building the foundations upon which to achieve accelerated growth. That was something I learned when I was over in Asia, rapidly scaling businesses and what it actually takes. And there, kind of built the frameworks for how we're gonna grow and make sure that we ultimately, particularly on the shop side of the business, are able to provide the absolute best service to our franchisees. They are our customer, and we wanna help them win and be successful in every way we can. And so as we continue to build the team, put the foundations in place, we'll look to ramp up growth in H2 this year.
Do you have any advice for anybody in the room? There's a lot of businesses that are focused on franchising, on rapid scaling, which I think is a little bit harder to do in the States. But what are your thoughts, or just a couple maybe nuggets on how to do it and do it well?
Yeah,
since
I'm
you've
sure
got the
there's probably a lot of people in this room who have much better advice than me. I probably need to be taking advice from a lot of folks here. But to me, as I think about franchising, I think about there's operations and there's capital. If I could only have one every single time without fail, I would always choose operations and then figure out the capital piece. I think somebody who has the heart of an operator, who knows what it takes to be an operator, is committed to being an operator, is the most important lens through which I view a potential franchisee. I think a lot of folks, think about getting into franchising. They think it might be a way, to kind of have like some passive income. That's awesome in other concepts. For our concept, that's not who we are. We want committed operators. That doesn't mean that they necessarily need to be the one, in their shops managing it in the day-to-day, but at least having the commitment to hire an outstanding shop manager, multi-unit manager, director of ops, and really being committed to the guest experience and building the brand and what it takes and all that it takes, which we all know is really hard work. That's super important. The capital piece we can figure out, but the operations piece, that's something that you can't just go out and find anywhere.
Are you finding that hiring for your units is a little bit different due to all the technology that you have?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just about winning with guests, but winning with our team members. And since I've been on board, we've had little to no turnover. I think folks enjoy working in our shops. We set them up for success. We provide them the tools and resources to be successful. We provide a cool, fun environment. And because of our labor model, we're able to pay really well. And so we pay above market rates to attract the best people who represent our brand well, execute well. And based on that, we've been able to have success with not just guests, but with our team members.
Is it due to the fact you can pay higher wages that you have less bodies on because the front of house you have the ambassador?
Yeah, yes and no. I would say at the end of the day, we want to set people up for success. We're not trying to overload too much work on any person. Based on volumes, some of the shops have higher volumes. They might have 4 folks on staff. Some, particularly during the slower times, will have 2. It can flex, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that it's a great environment and that folks are able to do their job, do it well, and enjoy doing it, and embody that spirit of hospitality that we want to be putting out there.
So I think there's a big question in the room. There's Bella and Joey, the mascots. Have you been in the mascot suit?
I have not been in the mascot suit. They're a
We
little
need to
bit.
work on
Yeah,
this.
well, it's a little bit of a sensitive question. I'm a little bit wide. It's not
For
for
the
lack
mascot
of.
suit?
It's not for lack of effort for trying
When I
to be
worked
in
for
it.
Red Robin, I was in red a few times. I think, Karen, you were in red too, weren't you? Yeah. I think you should try to get in there. It needs to be done.
Got to lose a lot of weight then. No more.
So I think it's good to understand how all the tech talks to each other.
Yeah.
Because when I was working with you, there were a few head-banging moments for both of us. We had the Clover, the Automat, right? And we're trying to get it all to sync. And what is really important, I think, for the tech folks in the audience is getting all the integrations done with all the different brands and businesses. And now there's more than ever different technology and pieces you can use and pull in. And no one really somebody should start a career, honestly, just on advising on what technology should be best for your business, because we're all spinning our wheels on, do you use Wisely, do you use Tattle, there's so much good stuff out there, but the business models are all different. And so, A, how did you decide what you were going to use, which I think some of it was decided before you onboarded? And second, how did you actually work with the tech companies to get them to all integrate together?
Sure. I think that's, in the first panel, this topic of integration came up quite a bit. I think it's something we're likely all struggling with in some way to ensure that everything talks to one another. And the other thing is when you are so tech forward, I mean, like the painful reality is that shit breaks. And what happens, and is the team in the shop equipped to handle it? And how does that work? Andy is here. We've been leveraging our partnership with Science on Call, which has been super helpful. So shout out
Andy
to
left.
Andy. He's not here.
You get all the credit.
Oh, he's over there. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a discount on next month's bill. So yeah, because at the end of the day, like it's going to break. The team members in the shop, the shop manager, that's been like the rapid response force. They scan their QR code, or they just WhatsApp the Science on Call team and say, "Hey, POS isn't working today. Hey, menu board's broken. Hey, the KDS is down," and they're able to actually respond rather quickly. And that's been something that's really important. Now, obviously, we want to live in a world where things aren't breaking all the time. So there's near-term, long-term. We're still in the process of evaluating our long-term tech stack. Right now, we have everything within kind of the Fiserv community. So Clover, card-free, fresh KDS, bento box, and we've been able to navigate that, not always without challenges, but it's working for us right now. I think the thing that is carrying through for us is we also have this locker delivery system, which currently, right this second, is not integrated. And that's something that will be our next evolution, and finding the right opportunity to be able to do that. Really important, so that all the software back of house is talking to one another and operating seamlessly and frictionless.
So one of the things that's come up since I had been working with you is the generational. When you have different generations come in and using this tech stack, does it turn people off? Do you see them walk away? And I know you and I watch a lot of guests come in the door, and the ambassador really having to go after them.
Yep.
How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, it was an epiphany for me. I think you and I were actually together. We were sitting in our shop in Austin, Texas. Incredible location right on East 6, very prominent, a lot of foot traffic.
Yep.
And a lot of people come in intrigued, looking at the locker system, menu boards, the design of the shop. But we would see attrition, and folks actually kind of walking in saying, this is interesting, and then walking out. Anybody in there, one of us, you, me, would, if we just stood up and said, "Oh, hey, welcome in. We're super glad you're here. Can I help you point out some recommendations or serve you anything?" And 100% of the time they say, "Oh yeah, thanks. I was just ready to walk out because it was a little bit like too much." And that is obviously sales walking out the door. And so I think about that ambassador role. It's by no means a cost center, it's a revenue generator. They are there to not just help with the attrition, which they do, right? They can capture folks who come in and actually get them to stick around through an order. They can also help upsell, guide through the menu. We have these incredible dessert dumplings. The behavior is, people typically don't order the dessert.
Dumplings are to die for.
People don't typically order the dessert dumplings as they're ordering their main course. That ambassador, can grab someone. Oh, we have, after they've eaten. Oh, you should grab some dessert dumplings too. Dessert dumpling sales are now skyrocketing. So
not from my table tent.
And from the table tents. So I think that's how we view it. Is that this is a revenue generator, not a cost.
Love that. Love that. If you were to talk a little bit about training, do you use any technology in your training for the team?
So training, I think, has been since you were helping us, a big area. I think what we're still looking for is a training platform and an LMS that can help us. So we're evaluating a few right now. Ultimately, same way we want to make it as easy as possible for the guests to, execute an order. We want to make it as easy as possible for team members to be trained with videos and checklists so that we can be monitoring. And we'll be rolling that out in the coming months.
And I think it's super interesting. It's on my resume a little bit, the reef technology piece, but the hours of operation, your busiest times of the day, I think are worth sharing in some of your high volume locations.
Yeah.
Which I learned at Reef, it's the 11 to 3 a.m. piece, those gamers, those people that love that other stuff that people do.
Yeah, we typically are, weekday lunch, depending on the location, evenings, but really our sweet spot, depending on where the location of the shop is, but East Village, East 6, Deep Ellum in Dallas, Inglewood in Calgary, South Street in Philadelphia. They're kind of like bar going out areas.
Yep.
And so we do really well in that like 11 to 2 a.m. range. And in certain shops have now extended to 3 a.m. Depending on like when the bars go out. People are looking for a place, and we're a great option for them.
I think a lot of people close before then as well, so you get the overflow, but I also think a lot of folks in this room should think about staying open that late if you can find the staff to do so. There are folks that like to work those hours.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is something that we want to be available. And also, I mean, we've actually, while typically sales pick up at around noon, in some shops we started opening earlier to ensure that staff's there to execute catering orders. Catering's been a huge push for us, a big revenue generator, and we have staff back there preparing catering orders. We'll also be open for guests as well.
Who are your catering clients right now? Since you kind of came on board, that's been a focus.
Yeah, so we are, anybody, whether it's, offices, schools, hospitals, we're actually doing a big push with our PR firm, doing catering to different tastemakers in the different cities that we operate in.
What is a tastemaker?
Key opinion leader.
Oh.
And getting our products in front of them and having them try it, and then being able to continue growing from there.
If you could share a few learnings for the past 5 months since you've joined. You went from big RBI to chairman and CEO of Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, which is doing extremely well and getting a good kickoff with your leadership. What would you share?
There's definitely been a lot of nights where there's so much to do, and every day is like ruthless prioritization. What actually matters, and what are we doing against that? What are the work streams that we have? How's the status of that going? A lot more to do than right now. We have team to do it, and I think there's been a lot of nights where it's like I look in the mirror and say like, hey, like you wanted something a lot more entrepreneurial. Like now you got it. And I need to own that, and it's been a true joy. I love building the culture, building the team. We're actively hiring for anyone in the room who's looking, and want to make this a really amazing place to work, an amazing experience for guests, and ultimately build an amazing business that becomes a great investment. And those are the things that I'm thrilled with, excited to get out of bed every day, and do what we're doing and build what we're building.
And you've got an awesome team. You've also got
we have
some
an awesome
great
team.
franchisees. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everyone.
Nice job.